A Fairy Tale for Grown Hearts 3. Once upon a time, there was a mermaid, still young for one or her kind, but ancient and wise for the sailors that had the pleasure of hearing her voice. Maricel was her name, firstborn of Thorin, protector of the Illyrian shore, and her astonishing beauty was described by bards in dockside taverns throughout Nerthil and Bloodwood lands. Her legend was very often disbelieved by the public, however. Very few sailors had the courage to name their sons Lucard due to her story. Even her existence was doubted, but the Illyrian people always knew. And even though Maricel was seen by her people, albeit rarely, her fame spread so far that she became known as a protector and confidant of the brokenhearted, even in the Illyrian Isles. It all started when young Maricel fell in love for the first time. Lucard, the captain of the Siren's Lament, a renowned sailor, brave and astute, was trying for years to deceive Thorin in the Corals and land in the Illyrian Isles to trade with the locals. He knew how valuable the enchanted objects were the Illyrian people had, and he was planning to get fortunes for him and his crew by establishing a connection with the islands. But Thorin, the great merman, was too strong and powerful, and smart enough to prevent all his attempts to reach the coast without the king's authorization. Lucard was creative, although. So one day, Lucard prepared a grand raid with his ship and two others, promising them great profits if they participated, occupying almost the entire reef and its merfolk, while he himself, disguised in an enchanted cloak, descended in a small boat and rowed to shore, swimming alone the rest of the way to the beach. What he didn't know was Thorin's last line of defense, his beautiful daughter Maricel and the sirens. Upon seeing Lucard, Maricel immediately began to sing her song, making the sailor fall madly in love with her.
Come closer, wanderer, drift upon the tide. Let the waves embrace you, leave your world behind. Silver foam and moonlit pearls. Follow the call where the ocean swirls. Whisper my name, let it burn in your heart, for the sea has secrets and love to impart. Lean to the wind, feel the song in your soul. Surrender to me, let the water make you whole. Come, sailor, come, hear my voice in the deep. Fall for the tide, where dreams do not sleep. Leave your shore, leave your fears behind, for the rose of the sea will claim your mind. Come, sailor, come, drift to the deep. Follow the tide, where the moonlight sleeps. Hear my voice, let your heart unwind, and the rose of the sea will claim your mind.
As Lucard was approaching her, with blurred eyes and a sweet smile at his face, Maricel perceived his beauty and the light in his heart. From her magical mermaid eyes, she could see how pure-hearted Lucard was. He wasn't a thief or a pirate as most men that dared to go to her beach, but a good man. Maricel had never met a good man before, at least not a human one, and she was fascinated. She sang her song until he was close enough for her to kiss him, but when it was time to do it, she stopped. The kiss of a mermaid could enchant a man for life, keep him passionate and obsessed, and very often make him lose his mind. And all the plans and dreams would disappear, leaving only an uncontrollable desire to be close to the mermaid that enchanted him. Knowing the suffering this entailed, most of the time Maricel would just order the pirate to drown to please her and quickly end the man's suffering. But some of her sisters and friends had their own armies or lifetime servants at their hand. By truly seeing Lucard's soul through his eyes, Maricel couldn't bring herself to give him the final kiss. Other mermaids then tried to claim the sailor for themselves, but Maricel wouldn't allow it. She also didn't know what to do with him, so before her father returned to shore, she quickly sent Lucard back to his boat and sent him away, never to return. As he was still enchanted, Lucard obeyed. With a terrible pain in his heart, he didn't want to leave his love behind, not forever, but as her wish was irresistible to him, he left. For days, Lucard couldn't think about anything else besides Maricel, her beautiful voice and the song she was singing for him, and in a few days, he couldn't sleep anymore. Weeks passed and nothing mattered anymore. No gold or fortune, nothing, besides having Maricel in his arms. But the unexpected thing was that Maricel couldn't stop thinking about her sailor too. She was curious about him and who he was and how he would live in the world being so naive and pure, like as her heart started to fill with a new song, completely different than anything she ever sang or heard from other mermaids.
The tide turns slow, the stars lean near. I cast my song across the mere. Petals drift on silver foam. Carry my love and bring him home. Rose of the sea calls the thorn of the land. Come back, my heart, come take my hand. Follow the moon, let the dark winds sleep. Sail to the voice where the waves run deep. The gulls cry low, the night grows wide. My tears are pearls, the waters hide. The reef remembers your vessel's name. It hums it softly, as I do the same. Even if storms keep you far from my shore, my song will be lantern and anchor once more. For the sea is my blood, and my love is my plea. Come home, my sailor, come home to me. Come home, my thorn, to the rose of the sea. The tide is your path, and the moon calls to thee. Through shadow and storm, let the dark winds sleep. Sail to my heart, where the waves run deep.
And in his dreams, Lucard could hear her singing, calling him to his home inside her heart. The other mermaids were concerned about Maricel, that was all the time distance from them, swimming to the ocean far from the isles, to sing her new song, to only come back when the sun was rising, with a sad expression of someone who has been crying all night. Maricel was in love. She knew it was impossible to live that love. Once she kissed him for the first time, Lucard would surrender to her charms, and he would cease to be who he is, and she would never know if he truly loves her too. By giving in to that love, she would lose his essence, which was what made her love him from the beginning. So Maricel knew she was damned. One day, contrary to what she told him to do, Lucard went back to the Isles, alone and unarmed, with his chest bare as a sign of surrender, and humbly asked Thorin to allow him to speak with his beloved mermaid, even if only once. Thorin was furious for discovering that a human escaped from the beach, but his anger got soft when he found out that his beloved Maricel was the responsible for that, and for the first time, he understood why his daughter was so sad. "My dear, what have you done?" Thorin asked disconsolate. "I told him to leave and never come back, Father. I am sorry I disappointed you." "But can I please speak to him?" Maricel asked, humble. Thorin agreed and allowed Lucard to come closer to the shore, and Maricel received him with teary eyes and a happy heart. "My love, I heard your call and I am back to you," Lucard said. "Oh, I told you to stay away from the Isles. My song was the craving of my heart, but not meant to bring you back." "I didn't know you could hear me, Lucard." "If it wasn't supposed for me to listen to your song, I wouldn't, and I heard it on my dreams. That's fate, my love. I just needed to see you again. That's all I wish for," Lucard said, saddening Maricel. "I don't understand. I did not kiss you, my dear. My enchantment was supposed to be gone already." "Maybe my new song is keeping him charmed," Maricel whispered to herself. "What do you mean?" Lucard asked. "My beloved sailor, I need you to leave now," Maricel said. "Why? What have I done wrong?" "My love for you is too deep and is consuming me, but I couldn't stand to be with you knowing that, if you had a choice, maybe you would not choose me at all," Maricel said, with tears in her eyes. "What? I don't understand," Lucard exclaimed in despair. Maricel then held his face in her hands and, looking him in the eyes, she said, "What I want the most in this life is for you to love me too, but I want you to choose me freely and willingly. I could kiss you, give you exactly what you want, but then I would never know. Maybe you would never be yourself again, and I would never get to know you deeply, and I wouldn't forgive myself if I allowed that to happen. Who you are is too precious to be lost, and if I am ever loved, I want it to be truly as I deserve. That's why I need you to go." Lucard didn't understand her words in despair, but he didn't have a chance to argue as Maricel left, mixing with the sea foam and disappearing. Maricel went to the abyss of the ocean, and there she cried. Days and nights passed, and Thorin sent almost all his sirens in the search of his daughter. The ocean, feeling pity of Marisel's sorrow, embraced her and asked, "Why are you in so much pain, my dear?" "I sent the man I love away," Marisel said between her tears. "Why?" the ocean asked. "Because I believe my song was enchanting him. I needed to stop singing so Lucard would know if his love for me is real, or if it is just an illusion." That was wise. "But is causing you so much pain? What are you planning to do, Marisel?" the ocean asked. "Nothing. I am waiting for Lucard to come back to me, that's his wish. If it is true love, he will." "Does he know you are waiting for him, Marisel?" "No, but true love requires action, otherwise it will fade away." "You should hear your own advice, my child," the ocean answered calmly. Marisel then realized that the ocean was right, and she had to take action to show her love. So she rose to the surface, swimming to the nearest beach, and with the whole strength left on her body, she sang. Her calling song was so loud that all the Illyrian people could hear it, from everywhere in the islands. First, that caused despair, as people know what siren songs can do to people. But then it caused wonder when they realized that the song only brought them peace and comfort, as it was meant to someone else, Lucard, and it was made with pure love from Marisel's heart. Her effort that night made Marisel, and her song, known by all Illyrian people, the beginning of the legend was rising. But for her misfortune, there was no sight of Lucard and his siren's lament on the horizon. She waited for so long that Marisel couldn't even remember anymore, and eventually she hid back in the seabed, desolate. The ocean watched it all and comprehended what Marisel meant to do, and because of her courage and her willing to do what was right for her and Lucard, the ocean decided to help her. Through the waves and tides, the ocean looked for Siren's lament and its captain, discovering Marisel's beloved in a so far away shore. Lucard was already old, as the time passes differently for the humans and mermaids. He was bitter and lonely, drowning himself in rum and still cursing Marisel for sending him away long time ago. But the ocean could see that his heart was full of love, filled with passion and missing Marisel deeply, even after all this decades of life he lived without her. It was true love indeed. However, the siren's lament was so far from the Illyrian Isles that it was very unlikely that Lucard was going to survive the long travel to Marisel. Filled with compassion, the ocean decided to bless Lucard and Marisel and their true love with another chance. The ocean appeared to Lucard in the form of a large stingray, startling him out of his stupor, and without explaining, the ocean asked him, "My son, if you could have another life, a new life where you are young and full of joy, what would you choose to take from the life you have?" Lucard cringed, thought for a while. He believed he was drunk and imagining things, but he had nothing better to do and decided to answer, saying, "My ship! It has been my greatest joy in life, allowing me to discover new places and meet different people. That would be my choice." "And it is a good choice, my son," the ocean replied. "And if you could take something you've always wanted, a dream, what would it be?" Lucard laughed out loud and took another sip of rum, replying, "That's easy. My Marisel, I would take the love of my life with me on my ship." The ocean agreed and observed his expression changing from joy to sadness, and then to anger in the blink of an eye. Suddenly, the ocean noticed the bitterness installed in Lucard's heart, corrupting it and consuming the good part of him, little by little. "Why the anger, Lucard?" "Marisel," he replied, showing that bitterness. "Didn't you hear her call?" the ocean asked. "I did." "It doesn't matter anymore," Lucard answered. "Why, my dear Lucard?" I won't be led by a song like some fool, and I won't be pulled by anyone's whims." "I comprehend if that's your choice," the ocean replied, disappearing into the deep waters and leaving behind Sailor confused and regretful for his harsh words. When the ocean found Marisel, she was waiting, in the same place where the ocean left her before, playing with the tip of her tail and murmuring Lucard's song. "Marisel, I understand how deep is your affection by your Lucard, and I truly believe it is genuine and pure love." "Really?" Marisel asked excitedly. "Yes, darling, it is. But do you remember what you have told me before? About love? The ocean asked, confusing the siren that only stared curiously. So the ocean continued. You told me that true love must be demonstrated, actions, remember, to not vanish in time. I understand. Should I sing for him again? Maricel asked. No, my dear, at least not now. I will help you, but you must comprehend some things first. Daughter, your beloved is human, and like all humans, his body perishes quickly. But since your love is genuine, I will gift you with a new opportunity to experience this love. Each time Lucard perishes, at the beginning of the next summer he will return, with a new story, in a different part of the world, and with no memory of you. But he will have the same name as well as his old boat, so he can find his way to you. And each life he finds you and remembers his love for you, I will give you the gift of temporarily becoming human, so you can experience this deep and amazing love you two share fully. Whenever you become a mermaid again, when Lucard is no longer living, remember to sing his song so that his soul may return to you. And while he is born, grows, and lives a new life, until he finds you, keep the song in your heart until he is back on his boat and ready to find you in my immensity. Do you accept this gift? Yes, oh ocean, you are wonderful, Maricel exclaimed, feeling hope for the first time in a very long time. But be aware, Lucard must come to you. Do not look for him or try to send him a message, because while you sing your song for him, he has to sail for you. That's the deal. Whether you have balance and keep choosing each other, or the enchantment will be broken. And remember, as a mermaid, you are free to find love in any way you want, and if you ever change your mind about your decision, you need to stop singing Lucard's song. And what about him? What happens to Lucard if I stop singing for him? Maricel asked, concerned. Then he will have to sail in uncharted waters. It didn't take long for Lucard to find his death in that life, and when that happened, his boat was brought to Maricel to clean and fix and make it new for him when he is back. As long as the siren's lament was in her hands, Maricel would sing their tune with all the power of her love.
Come home, my thorn, to the rose of the sea. The tide is your path, and the moon calls to thee. Through shadow and storm, let the dark winds sleep. Sail to my heart, where the waves run deep.
And when Lucard was being born again, the ocean would silently take away the ship in the dead of night, and Maricel knew she had to be silently waiting for her beloved one for 21 human years, when Lucard was going to find his old friend to sail once more through the world until he reaches the Sea of Ondines and finds his soulmate Maricel in the Illyrian Isles. The Illyrian people who migrated to the continent centuries ago were the ones who brought the story and shared the legend of Maricel and Lucard, the rose of the sea and the thorn of the land. And to this day, this tale is told, sometimes as a fairy tale for children, sometimes as prayer of hope for broken-hearted women, sometimes as a warning for sailors not to fall in love with mermaids. Maricel became more than a legend as the time passed. The ladies in Harbor Rose's alley, often in love but not committed to their loved ones due to the nature of their work, used to throw red roses in the sea for Maricel, with the names of their beloved sailors written inside the petals, so she could sing her song and bring them back home safely. And when their requests were granted, the girls, unlike the fearful sailors, often gave the name Lucard to their firstborn sons, as an offering and homage to the siren, in the hope that they would be loved and protected by Maricel for their whole life. The fishermen swear that eventually they can see the siren's lament through the fog, sailing faster than any other known boat searching for Maricel, and, when this happens, they can also hear Maricel's song, calling her beloved back to her arms. The most superstitious people avoid singing this song for fear of the consequences that the ocean could make them bear. But for the young girls that are discovering love for the first time, Maricel's song became an anthem. And for me, the storyteller who now shares this legend with you, the story of Maricel and Lucard is as true as the sun shines and the breeze cools off on a summer afternoon. After all, if love like this doesn't exist, what is worth living for?
Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe.